All right, hi everybody. We're just coming in from a meeting with the gig economics crew, and we've been chatting a lot about, just a lot of stuff. Um, just what's been going on with the current situation. How do I, guys? How do I say this without the ad getting rejected? Right?
I think you just did.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Every time you think that, just say bleep.
Just yeah. So no, we've been we have been at this gig economics thing for a while, and it has evolved and grown, and I don't know. I'm super proud of it. I'm excited. I love these guys. Can I just say that? I love Bill Davis and I love Callan Dawn. I'm like, my heart goes out to you guys. I love you.
We love you too, man. We do.
Back at you, buddy.
Now the reason why I decided to start recording is because I'm having a hard time. I've had a hard time, and I think we all have. And these guys have given me some great advice, and I figured we should record and share that advice, because that's what we do. We want to help people. We want to help move out of this space. And Bill, weren't you saying that like the world is going to change almost as quickly as it did with this whole thing that we're not going to talk about?
Yeah. So with this thing that this is reminding me of a Monty Python skit. Something like the thing that shall remain nameless.
Spam, 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 spam.
Things happened very quickly. They kind of happened right. It's like when something bad happens, right? Like you see your kid get hit by the dodgeball, bam, or when you get hit by the dodgeball, it's almost coming at you in slow motion, but it happens really fast, and everybody knows that sound, right? That ring, and that sting it gives you. But you know what? And I happen to think that, I'm trying to look for the silver lining in things, and I'm biased, and my own bias is gonna like taint this conversation. I hope you can say the word taint, but
we'll find out.
As soon as you get hit with that ball,
I don't think we
ball
can.
In your hands, the sting goes away, and that feeling goes away, and the sound goes away. And you bean somebody else. And that's how this economy is going to work. It happened in slow motion. We all saw it coming. It's still not here yet. The ball's right in front of our face. But I really do believe that as soon as we figure out collectively, and I think we know the answer already, but some of us just aren't obliging. When we figure out how to stop this thing, I think the economy's going to turn around just as fast. I've heard the really dire predictions that, we're going to be in a depression for 10 years, blah, blah, blah. And I remember the stories that my grandparents told me about, them going through the Great Depression. But the interesting thing about their story was they were never like down.
Yeah. Like everybody was pretty happy during the Great Depression.
They were, and it's, part of it was when you come from nothing, you really can't take much more away. But they were, they were always working, and I remember them telling me they were making something like 20 or 30 cents an hour, and they didn't have any money left over. And I remember, my grandmother talking about how she could make a meal out of flour and water and sugar.
Yeah,
they just made do, and we're going to have to make do, and we're going to have to change the way we live a little bit, maybe a lot. Mm-hmm. But at some point it's going to turn, and, economies always do. I mean, can you think of a worse situation than World War II, for example?
Yeah,
Every single one of those countries came back. Now, did it take 20 years? Yeah, but the progress, the change, the inflection point was very quick. It's like, okay, war's over, we can start rebuilding.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to get better quickly. We may still be talking about this a year from now, 2 years from now. I don't know. I've been wrong about this stuff before. I mean, hell, I didn't see the last financial collapse coming, even though it was right before my eyes. And my training is in economics, which is kind of funny because we're talking about gig economics now. But I do think that the job landscape is going to change forever. I think that we're you're not, prior to this thing that we can't talk about, we know that the kind of the job market, the employment atmosphere was different than our parents, right? I mean, our parents may have had a pension. Our parents may have had a job with the same company for 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years. Heck, I know people now who have been working at the same company. They're a lot older than me. Been working at the same company for over 50 years. And I'm like, whoa, I've never been with a company more than 7,
Yeah.
And usually it's 2 or 3. Because I just get bored and I can't stand it, and then I go back and do my own thing, and then I go after a couple of years, I go, okay, I want to go back and try it again. And
I remember growing up. I remember witnessing that transition from like, there's going to be a company that's going to take care of you for the rest of your life, to, well, you get a career, to every job you get is going to give you the skills for the next job. Like, that's what happened. It was just like, this is how it's going to be. And then, I don't know, you should probably just run your own business.
Well,
that's the message that I got.
You used to be able to count on, a fairly reasonable yearly raise, 5%, 6%, 7%. But the last, I'd say 20 years, the average raise is 1% to 2% a year.
Yeah.
The only reliable way, and it's not easy to reproduce, is to go from company to company to company. Because every time you move from this company to that company, they're generally willing to give you a bigger raise than your own employer would. It's kind of like your cable bill. Let's say your cable bill is $200 a month.
I'm loving this.
You've been a customer for 20 years, and you see the flyer that comes through the mail that says, new customers, you can have this package, which is better than yours, for $100 a month for 2 years. And you call up your cable company and you say, can I get that deal? And they go, no, you're already a customer. And you're like, what? But I've been loyal to you for 20 years. Count up I've spent $200 with you for 10 years or 20 years or whatever. That's a lot of money. That doesn't count for anything? No, sir. Okay, then let me cancel. That's what you're doing when you're going from this job to another employer. Maybe the same job, but that's the only way you're going to get like a 10 to 20% raise, maybe even more. And then again in a couple of years, that's the only way you're going to make real headway in the employment world.
So however, we just have to. No, go ahead. I was just going to say, so we just realized, like, we just replaced who's handing over the pink slip these days. You have to be the one responsible. Like, I'm sorry, your services are no longer needed. You're fired. I'm going somewhere else.
Right. That's why we've been talking about this whole idea of, you are your business. Every job you have, whether it's a gig, a side hustle, or an employer, treat every one of them as a gig, because nothing is permanent. You could be fired tomorrow.
Yeah. Or you could be the president tomorrow, the president of the company, not the country.
Or your company could be shut down due to something we can't talk about, and you no longer have a job and you no longer have employment. And the way it is right now, you're not going to get unemployment either.
Yeah.
Maybe you get a little bit, but you won't get a lot. Certainly not enough to make up for what you were earning. So that's why it's important. And you may feel it's a little late. Guys, why didn't the three of you talk to us a year ago? Well, we weren't here a year ago.
Yeah. Stupid
but-
Voldemort. Oh man, I just ruined it. Oh, I said the word we're not supposed to. Voldemort. Ah, jeez, I said it again.
Yeah.
Who shall
Stupid
not be named.
Voldemort. He's just everywhere, right?
But the point is, it's when you have a job and you don't have any other streams of income, you've in effect put all your eggs in one basket. And when somebody finds that basket and they smash it to bits, you got
They're
nothing.
like, you didn't need this, right?
Yeah.
That's fine, I guess.
Yeah. So
exactly.
Can I
now's
just say,
now's
like,
the time.
that guy's a douchebag to come and smash my basket of eggs. I mean, like, I put them in a basket and then you come and smash them. And you're like, dude, I only had the one basket. I was going to put some of these eggs in some other baskets, but you came along and just smashed the one.
Right.
What a tool.
Right. So remove the ability for somebody to smash your basket.
Yeah.
Right. Create more baskets. And, it's kind of one of those feel good woo woo rah rah. This is how millionaires live. But if there are a couple like truisms about, really wealthy people. And trust us, guys, financial wealth is not everything in life. It's a component, and it helps. It helps to give you freedom to do the other things you want to do in your life. But one thing about people who are wealthy is they don't have one stream of income.
Oh no, they
They
have
have,
multiple
For
streams.
sure.
Yeah.
Being diversified
Both of
against
them.
something like this hedges you against exactly what's happening right now.
The average is 7. They have 7 streams of income.
So,
Now, one of those streams of income could be an investment account that throws off dividends and capital gains.
Yeah.
So you may think, well, I don't have enough money to invest. And you're probably right. If you don't have a job, you got to pay for food. You got to pay for your house, but there are ways that you can earn money right now where you don't have to go get a job, because let's face it, right now, I don't think a lot of people are hiring.
Yeah. Well, it was like
No, they're not.
One of my favorite aspects about or the overall concept of the 4-hour work week that Tim Ferriss wrote back in 2008 was that it was exactly that. It was creating multiple streams of income. He just called them muses. I liked the concept, is because I'm very much into mythology and things like that. So the very idea of the Greek gods speaking to me and being like, this is what you got to do, like the muses that the art that Leonardo da Vinci and those called upon kind of thing. I thought that was pretty cool how Tim Ferriss put it into that context. But really, it was, hey, just create multiple streams of income in your life, and those are your muses. But then you can really dig deep into the things that you really want, and that's where true wealth can be found, is that connection. The like you were saying, it's not just the money goal, and and true success is something I haven't found yet, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, and everybody's probably heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it's like the pyramid, where at the top is like self-actualization, and you're who you really want to be and who you were meant to be. But at the very bottom level is how do you survive? Food, shelter, clothing. Those are you need those. If you can't meet those things, you can never be up here. You really can't. Now if we all have different standards of living and the things that we think we need. If you're a person who's very frugal and not materialistic, you don't need a lot, you can meet that lower echelon, that lower level, fairly easily, and then rise up that pyramid. Whereas somebody who has to own a boat and all the toys and the cars and the house that's just like the next door, all that kind of stuff, it's harder to meet those basic levels. So everything, we've talked about this before, everything is a choice, and not everything is your fault. Even your plight in life may not be your fault. Like that thing we can't mention, you had nothing to do with it.
Voldemort.
Yet you lost. That's going to be a good running joke. Yet you lost your job. You lost your ability to earn an income. And the perversity of it all is when you file for unemployment, they basically make you stay unemployed if you want to keep getting the money, which makes sense. But
Yeah.
you can't like get a side gig and feel good about it because you got to report that as income, and then they just take away what they were going to give you.
You're just like, but what was the point?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
well,
anyway.
Well, I like that because and it's again the reason why I was like, hey, let's record, because you guys like I started the meeting, I was just and I explained a couple of things, and I got frustrated, and I brought myself back down, because I I had explained a little bit of my week, but I just had to, like, in my mind as I was going through it, it's just like, well, yeah, I got to be a little bit more creative here. It wasn't a big deal. Thinking about it later on, yeah, okay, so don't think about it, right? It's just like, yeah, it's just like, yep, there's Voldemort just right there, just breathing down my neck. Okay, but but if you don't think about him, he just kind of off he
Right.
goes, and then it's easier. But yeah, there's a lot of times, and I think that's I want to show my vulnerability of, like, no matter how hard I focus away from that, yeah, reality still sets in, and it sucks. But it's great to get people that you know, like, and trust, because they can help. Because now I know what I need to do. I know how tomorrow's going to work. I know how the next day's going to work, and I know on Friday we're going to circle back around, and we'll be able to work together again, and move forward.
I was talking to my kid today, my oldest kid today, and he was talking about, how people, there's some people who think about the future, like they place a priority on the future, and some people seem to place a priority on the past. And he was saying, and maybe this is part of his upbringing, maybe it's just me rubbing off on him, but I think it's healthy, that he said, the present is all we got, because there may not be tomorrow, and yesterday you learn from it, but that's about all you can do with it. You can't change it. So no matter what's happened to you in your life, you are where you are, and that's where you have to start. And you could lament that, oh, it's not fair, and it sucks, and it's horrible, and yeah, it's all of those things. But again, you have the choice to either move forward or stay where you are. And staying where you are is probably not a recipe for being happy if you're not happy now.
Yeah.
So you always kind of have to move forward. You always have to have, like a short-term goal that gets you to the next step. But to say, I'm here and I want to be here, and I'm 40 or 50 years old and I'm still not here, and damn it, it's hard to be just here. That's a plight a lot of us suffer. But I'm telling you that if you and do one at a time, if you're lucky enough right now to have a job, keep it. Be the best damn employee you can be, so that it's really hard to let you go. But do something on the side. We all have spare time. I mean, even if it's only 15 minutes, think about it. In 15 minutes, what can you do? You can record a 15-minute video that might change somebody's life.
There we go.
You can write an email and send it out. You can post a job or a service on, like, I can't think of the names right now, but like
Upwork, Fiverr, freelance.
Yes, freelance, Fiverr.
Upwork, yeah.
You can start, and I think you're going to get more into this, Zane, but you can start a Fiverr business in like 5 minutes, because all you do is you sign up to Fiverr.com and you put up a gig. This is what I'm willing to do, you know, and it could be something like, I will sing happy birthday for your child, you know, remotely, and people will buy that for $5. But there's people who are earning several multiples of six figures on Fiverr, because a lot of people don't know this, but the average gig price on Fiverr is not $5.
Yeah. That's true.
Basically, that's the in the door price. Like, I'll create a funny meme for you for $5, but I'll give you like the Photoshop file for $20, or I'll, you know, customize it in a certain way for $50. And pretty soon, if you make those customers happy, they'll circumvent Fiverr and contact you directly. Now, I'm not going to say that's like ethical or within Fiverr's terms or anything like that, because it's probably not.
Yeah.
In fact, no, it's not. But that's what happens, and that's what happens in all business. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you have like a referral, and pretty soon the referral's cut out of the picture, and the two parties just meet because both parties then get a better deal.
Yeah.
So you can do any of those things in 15.
And be ready for some videos tomorrow, folks, because that's what this guy's doing. But no, again, this has been very helpful for me, which is why I wanted to turn on the record. The timer that we've got here has only a few minutes left. So is there anything else that we want to that you guys would like to mention that you think that would be helpful in this time of Voldemort?
I think get creative. You would be surprised what people actually need help with. You know, start surveying friends and family, finding out that thing that they're struggling with right now. A lot of other people are probably struggling with that too. Start there.
Maybe this is a little bit more of a personal question, but because of our time of Voldemort here, gotten a little extra estranged from the family. Any thoughts on that? Do you think that's been a common thing?
Yeah, I think that's a very common thing. I've actually heard that domestic violence incidents have skyrocketed because people are just in a bad mood, and those kind of primal instincts, or even dickish instincts, are even more prevalent. You know, when people are under stress, man, they you know, we all act differently, and some people will say, well, that's your true self coming out. Well, I don't know about that. I just know that stress makes you a different person, and makes you act and react in a way that you wouldn't had you if you weren't so stressed out.
I agree with that.
Stress is a literal killer. I mean, you know,
I feel like I've clocked an extra 20 years over the last 6 months.
Yes, there are chemicals released in your body
Inklings.
in response to stress that make you not sleep, make you gain weight, make you have high blood pressure, make you have all these, you know, diabetes. All sorts of things can happen as a result of stress. You know, it's funny too, because, you know, let's say 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 500 years ago, whatever, we were under a lot more, it was a different stress, but we were under more stress then from oh my God, that tiger is going to eat me.
Yeah.
We don't have that now, but we have different stresses. And I think they're more self-imposed. Like,
yeah,
I need to earn this much money because I want to have this thing. And that's a stress that you put on yourself, but the body, the mind, the chemical reactions, they don't care. They respond in the same way if it feels a stress. Like, whether it's self-imposed, like I put this hot iron on my arm, or somebody else did, the body reacts the same way.
Yeah, it's I'm stressed. Please stop.
Chemicals, and you freak out, and you don't behave rationally. And a lot of people, you know, I'm one of them. I don't believe people act rationally when they're not stressed, but you
Yeah.
act even more irrationally when you're stressed, and you don't make good decisions. And the family thing is hard because, man, they're your family and you can't get another one, you know.
Yeah, I've tried. I have tried, and no, it doesn't work. So if you're thinking, okay, think of ways to help family and friends. Okay, pretend that your family and friends are somebody else and help them, because that's where I'm at. I am like, my family is very much like GTFO. All
Yeah.
right, fine, but I still love and care about all of them. I think about them constantly, even though we're in a really weird space. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine, because the only thing that time does is move forward.
Yeah. No, I mean, let's talk about this next time, the
Yeah.
next show.
I like that. So we got about 60 seconds before this thing turns off.
Okay,
Final
yeah. I
thoughts?
mean, getting back to the family, I mean, I think you pick up on a really good point, and that is, you can't, besides your marriage, you can't choose your family. You were born into that situation, so there's nothing you can do about it. You can
Mhm.
choose to keep it the way it is, or you can choose to move forward, whatever that means for you. Sometimes it means separating, sometimes it means coming together.
Yeah.
And over the last 3-4 years, I've done both with different family members. And it
Well
has to
said.
do with, for me personally, it has to do with who has respected me and who has not.
Well said.
That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Who has
Amen.
respected me and who has not.